Actually, take sanctions. Take the question of sanctions. The Iranians are saying the sanctions will be fully and immediately lifted immediately. The United States is saying no, it's going to be incremental and over time. That's not an emphasis issue. That's which is.
But we'll know on June 30th when it's in writing.
But we're assuming Joe will know. Why don't we know now?
Because it's not the final deal now. Ari,
it should be a common
discussion.
I'm interpreting what you're saying is let's go to war. Am I right?
You know, that was Mika, ladies and gentlemen, and, you know, it doesn't fall far from the tree. Ari Fleischer, who she accused of saying, let's go to war now, is with us. Former White House spokesman for President George W. Bush and President of Fleischer Sports. By the way, Matt Harvey in his first game back since August of 2013, pitching today. 6 innings, 9 strikeouts, no runs, as the Mets beat the Nationals 6-3 in Washington, Ari.
Yeah, he was lights out.
All right, say that again.
He was lights out today.
Oh, lights out. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I didn't have you up. I'm sorry. I just heard you come. I came back. I thought you said wiped out. Yeah, he was. He was awesome. All right, you weren't saying let's go to war, were you? You were just saying how could the two countries be talking about the same quote unquote deals and parameters in such different language?
You know, I enjoy doing Morning Joe because it wakes me up, but Mika sometimes goes off the deep end. You know, she's just a parrot of the president when it comes to, well, if you don't do what Barack Obama says, you must be for war. Of course it's nonsense. What I'm for is actually an agreement that stops Iran from getting nuclear weapons, as President Obama promised in the second debate. This agreement doesn't do it. You know, the problem I have on a substantive level is this agreement means that Iran keeps all the material in the country. It doesn't send any of the material out of the country. We give up the leverage that we had for sanctions. And, of course, under sanctions, there's no snapback. We'll never get the UN or the EU to snap back sanctions if they're once removed. Has anybody ever seen the UN or the EU do anything fast? And it's unverifiable. There's no instant inspections of Iranian facilities, and never are there inspections of any of their military facilities, and they can deem anything military. This agreement will most likely lead to war because it's going to put Israel in a corner where Israel thinks America no longer has its back.
It sounds like is it Big News Brzezinski was there talking to you.
Or Jimmy Carter.
Or Jimmy Carter, yeah. All right, let's move on. I want you to just hear this very quickly from Andrea Mitchell and Chuck Todd. Listen, watch.
Rand Paul is in New Hampshire, where he started the day by taking on none other than Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show. Not a good move.
And, of course, then they played it, and her and Chuck Todd talked about this female problem that he apparently has. The Washington Post says he has a female problem. I mean, you know, anything they could look for, they're going to go with, right?
You know, I have news for Andrea. Taking on the press is almost always a good move, and especially in a Republican primary. You know, the voters don't really think the press is neutral. They think the press has an agenda. So actually, when Senator Paul does something like that, it's a smart move. And frankly, anybody who's ever been interviewed by the press, left, center, or right, gets frustrated with the way the media just focuses on whatever they want to make into a controversy, as opposed to just asking questions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But how do you think? I mean, Rand Paul himself said to both Wolf Blitzer and to Megyn Kelly last night, he has to learn to handle it a little better. But he's a smart guy. I think maybe he does let it get under his skin a little too much, but I think he knows that this is resonating with, as you just indicated, with Republicans, with the base, and maybe a little bit beyond.
And what's really bothersome is the notion that it's sexist. Rand Paul treats everybody the same way like that. He treats, and the New York Times actually had a story about it today, male reporters, exactly the same gruff way that he treats female reporters. It's his nature. It's his personality. Whether it's going to sell well over time is a different issue, and when you watch people run for president, you see so much of them in your living room. It is important to come across in a way that people welcome as opposed to being gruff. But there's nothing sexist about this, and that's why the debate just gets silly right from the start.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. So, Tiger Woods, back, playing at the Masters. What do you think?
Well, he's had a tough go of it, hasn't he, for the last many years? And you know, I still think the country is cheering for a comeback. It would be a phenomenal moment if he was able to come back, and what better place to make a major comeback than the Masters? But it's a hard sell. You know, I think his best days of golf are far in the past for him.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And were you surprised that A-Rod apparently had more cheers than boos at his first at-bat at Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, you know, For me personally, I'm just going to sit on my hands when A-Rod's at the plate. I cannot bring myself to cheer for him. I wouldn't boo him, but it's tough. And, my biggest fear for the Yankees goes way beyond A-Rod, and that's just going to be another mediocre year. I just can't imagine, Steve, that 3 years in a row the Yankees don't make the playoffs. I hope that's not the fate.
It's happened to my Devils, so maybe it'll happen to the Yankees. All right, Ari, great to talk to you, sir. Thank you very much.
Always good to say hello.
Thank you. Ari Fleischer, ladies and gentlemen. When we come back, we'll be joined by Matt Whitaker, founder of the Foundation for Accountability. Don't go away.